So since we have only one graduate now, how many graduates are here? Those with bachelor's degree. Let me see your hand. Bachelor's degree. One. I'm seeing two. Okay, three. Bachelor's degree, three. So I'm still waiting to see if they are up to a certain number, then we can use another space for the graduates. Like you can really ask pertinent question. How how did you get to the UK to study free of charge? That's the meaning of scholarship. Scholarship means someone is paying your studies. And then we have Ma'am Joyce also. Gaha, she's among us and she'll be coming next to speak. She's a two-time master cat scholar. And the greatest of it all is the fact that she's here and she'll give her story. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So once again, thank you for coming. Your lives will never be the same again. Hey, Angel, have I spoken since you came? Congratulations to your GCA. Yes, Angel did so well, and many of you did so well. And I'm seeing Frankie is getting bigger than me. Yes, can you imagine? It's good to finish advanced level, eh? But the journey starts now. There is more. You will more. If you don't have sessions like this, you'll be more confused. Okay? So the journey starts now. So once again, you're welcome. Without further ado, please permit me welcome our friend and brother, Mr. Neba Ambe, our UCL scholar, our Commonwealth scholar, and he will give, you see how young he is? He's going for a PhD. Someone is making, yes, and he's paid. Is paid. Someone in OD will said it pays to apply. And if you give up, now you sabi. So can we chant that for a few seconds? Say it pays to apply, everybody. And if you give up, now you sabi. Are you sure you said that? Can we say one more time again? Say it pays to apply. No, and you will say it better when you hear your stories. You will hear it better. So please, with a standing ovation and with a clap offering. But before we even go to that, I really, really want to use this opportunity to thank the Christman, our man of God, Reverend Harmony Gafferson, for always giving us a space like this, free internet, and for us to have a program here. Please celebrate Mr. Christman for us, the Reverend. He will be coming soon. He will be coming soon. He always wants you people to succeed. There are times that students will come here to write exams in the night. And do you know what will happen? I will leave my house, come and sit by them. They are writing their exam with my laptop and the church internet in the night. And when they finish at time, I will take my bike, I will ride and go and lift them. Yes, that's it. We are out there for you if you are serious. So we want to thank Reverend Harmony so much for giving us the space to use. It is more than a church. It is a community, and we are out to make you people scholars and success. And equally, please, I want to thank Mr. Akaba James. If I don't know if please put his picture, go online, get Mr. Akaba James, and you put it on the screen. I really want to thank him so much for the incredible work he is doing. He has been doing. Open Dreams is 10 years old now, and we have people, more than 300 people who have studied abroad on fully funded scholarships. I'm talking about schools like Harvard that you only hear in a movie. We have sleep on the same bed with people going to Harvard. I'm talking about Cambridge. I'm talking about Oxford, and you'll discover one today. I'm talking about, call these names that you know. Princeton, they might not even know them, right? UC Berkeley. We have students who have left Kenya to UC Berkeley. We have students who have left Kenya to Sciences Po Paris. We have students studying all over the world. Any country you can think that people can live there and be safe. Some of you have never heard about Mauritius. Some of you have never heard about Lesotho. Some of you have never heard about those countries. We have scholars studying there. They are also in China, in Hong Kong. They are in, the names are so many, in Canada. And we have another scholar who is going to Canada or who is from Canada. She will be here tomorrow. We have the person from Chevenix. He'll be here tomorrow. So it's a whole lot. Just to tell you that everything is possible. And that has been done by a group of people who are sold out. Please, do you have the picture of Mr. Kaba? Good. Mr. Kaba, Hans, and Christina. I don't know if you can get Blessed Boomer. If not, we have to try to get it. I'm just trying to give him, and then I'll play you a video when he must have finished in the transition. It's a short video about the documentary of Open Dreams. I'll play that video for you to watch and be inspired. Is that understood? Now, your situation will never be the same again if you dare to dream. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what your parents are doing. I'm talking about Lekana Steve Orel, a student from Kenya, who finally went to Ashesi, from Ashesi to UC Berkeley. UC Berkeley, he worked at Google, he worked at, and which other bank in the UK, and then finally he's working at Bloomberg in the United States, one of the biggest companies as well when it comes to technology. He was sitting like you here in 2018. He was sitting. I'll look for that picture. I'll bring tomorrow and we'll portray it. You will look at when we started the symposium. And Harris also is in Sciences Po Paris. He had the master's CAT scholarship for the undergrad, and he had the MasterCard scholarship for the graduate. So he's doing his master's and he's doing an MBA, that master's in business administration. So the testimonies are too many. These are people who are from background that nobody could ever thought of. They don't have parents. Harris is an orphan of father. Why Lekana Steve, the father was doing grinding mill opposite our house. You can imagine from grinding mill, the kid now, and it is so overwhelming. Is somebody getting excited already? Is somebody getting excited? So I want them to put the picture of Mr. Kaba James on the board, our country director of Open Dreams. And then we'll also look at Hans Colbert and Christina Colbert. They are in the United States, and they are the co-founders of Open Dreams alongside Blessed Boomer. Please, we'll have to celebrate them when their picture comes up, because these are people who have been selfless. Say selfless. You think I have been selfless? I'm joking, right? These are people who have used their time, their energy, their money, risked their lives to make sure that no child is left behind, to give students access to quality education. I don't know any top university in the United States that Open Dream scholars have not been there. I'm talking about Stanford, talking about Cornell, talking about Yale, talking about MIT, talking about Caltech, I'm talking about Brielle, I'm talking about, which one do you know? Have I called Stanford? Have I called Brown University? Have I Dartmouth University, Pennsylvania? The list is long. Universities that students in America don't have the chance to attend. I mean, their parents are rich, they don't have the chance to attend. I'm talking about schools that students go on loans. They borrow money to pay their fees and only pay after they finish working or when they start to work. But you live from these plastic chairs and you can be able to study in those universities free of charge. Because why? Some people stood out to assist you. We have students studying in China, in India. We have students studying in Malaysia. And the list goes on and on. Don't look at where you're coming from. Look at where you are going to. Because it is the end that justifies the means. All we seek, all we ask from you is an excellent result. And that is the birth of the student symposium, which we crafted it the excellent spirit. And that's what we want from you. Be examples in your community, be examples in your schools, in attitude, in leadership, in academics. You have to be. Scholarships are not given to people who smoke cigarettes, people who are thieves, because no one will recommend you if you're a thief. Are we together? It's not given to prostitute. It's not given to what other kind of one I can call. It's given to people who are resilient, who are optimistic, who are of good character, people who are ready to give back to their communities. That is what we are virgin for. We are vying for. So, are the pictures ready? You saw them? If it takes so much time, no, just put it one. Just put it, don't waste time. Just book one. Let them see Mr. Kaba James Atimo and we celebrate him for the excellent job that he is doing in the lives of young people all over Cameroon. He does not even need to know you or know your parents. He wants to see your passion. He wants to see your aspiration. He wants to see your grades. And for those of you who are staying opposites, please celebrate Mr. Kaba for us. That was him receiving the Duolingo award. That's after he had received the Uprising Star Award as the first black to ever received in the world. He got this one again last year. So that's Mr. Kaba James Atimbu, our country director. Please celebrate him for everything that he is doing for us. Yes. And have you had hands? Beautiful. I want us to see hands. A white man that loves you without even knowing you. They love you without even knowing you. They want you to succeed. They want you to be leaders in the world. They want you to be the best version of yourself. Hans will pay money for the space in Yaoundé. Hans will give money for students to write their SAT and pay their exams. And he even paid my TOEFL. Yes, that was $270. He paid for me to write TOEFL. So they are great guys. I want you to see their pictures before we start so that we can celebrate them and then we know what we are going into. Are we together? Have you seen hands? How many seconds do we need? So you are going in something big. I don't know how your result has been before now, but if you still have the chance, like those of you in lower 6, those of you who are going to Form 5, those of you who are going to upper 6, get the maximum points. Get engaged in your school. They should know you as an example in the sense that this kid engages in community work in school. He will clean the class, or you go and clean the offices of their administrators when they are not on punishment. They will want to organize your friends to, do some cleanup in the community. They want to go and visit orphanages like Meret and Millie. They want to do a thing like that. Look for something. Look for a problem you want to solve. No matter how small the problem is, when you begin to solve the smaller one, you find purpose. And when you begin to find purpose, you will find meaning. And begin to find meaning, you will get opportunities. Go for purpose. Go for meaning. Opportunities will come. I'm not a speaker today. I have my speakers in the house. That teacher is taking so much time. You didn't get it? Okay, no problem. If you don't get it, we can do it later on. Please, without further ado, I want you to put your hands together as we welcome our Commonwealth scholar in the house. He is no other person but Mr. Ambe Neba, who is right here in person. With a stand ovation, you can stand, please. You can stand to welcome my brother. Thank you so much again. I can't stop thanking you for making it possible to be here. And the Christ man just came in, our mentor and coach and father. Please celebrate him. Okay, sir, over to you.
Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you so much. Uh, I don't know if the slides are ready. Just yet. Good afternoon, everyone. I think I am a familiar face already. And I think I'll come here as many times as possible if it even means coming to meet one person, because this is very, very important. We are giving back opportunities which we never had, but we understand how important that having these meetings, having these conversations is. While they are putting up my slides, we've spoken here generally about how to get scholarships, the experience, how to prepare yourself, how to be able to attract attention to what you hope to study. But today, I'll speak about something more specific, which is telling your story to the scholarship commission board or the panel or whoever is reviewing the scholarships. The first thing I'll need to note is that it is having a scholarship is not a gamble. It's not winning a jackpot or playing the lottery where you don't have any control over the possible outcome. It is carrying out intentional actions, but those intentional actions need also to be guided and informed by your purpose and information which you've gathered. But there is one language which is spoken across scholarship panels, and there are things which, if you are able to hit them right, it greatly increases your chances of being noticed. Because remember that everybody wants a scholarship. Everybody wants to study for free because everybody dreams of that opportunity to occupy spaces which your parents never had the opportunity to do. So most of you, I believe, will be what we call first generation graduates in a couple of years if you just had your A-level. That means that you're going to occupy spaces in higher education which your parents never did. So you should take it as a privilege that your parents were able to push you up to where you are, to support you up to where you are now, and make the most of it. That is to say, you will not leave any stone unturned. And I believe for the people, there are some faces here that I've seen consistently since the first time I came here, and showing up is already a sign that you know where you want to be, and you're trying to find out how to get there. Because first you need to know where you want to be, and then you find out what it takes to get to where you want to be, and then you do what it takes to get there. These three stages, you cannot skip any of them. Know where you want to be, know what it takes to get there, and do what it takes. The last is always the action, without which all of it is just gambling. Okay, I don't know if there is a problem for the slides. Okay, thank you so much. Let me test this. Have you plugged in the... Okay. Okay, if it does not work, then you might help me go through the slides. Thank you. Okay, I am Neba Ambe. Thank you again all for coming here. And I'll really encourage you to take notes because I understand that most of you just had your A levels. And some of the information that I will be sharing will be very new to you and might not be immediately useful to you, but I think it starts setting your mind to uh, prepare for the opportunities which you intend to explore in future. So I'm going to share how to write scholarship winning essays, and I'm drawing this from my experience. And I have a disclaimer that it is my experience. Every scholar particularly has their own experience or have their own experiences. So I am drawing from being a WIPO scholar, as Mr. Golekfak mentioned. I'm a teacher, and I've had several years of teaching A-level chemistry. I've taught in some of the good schools, CPC Bali, if you've heard of that, PCSS Boya, PSS Douala, PCSS Aziri. Those are some of the schools where I've taught. So I still consider myself a teacher, always. And alongside that, I have had the opportunity to get a few scholarships which I've mentioned here before, including the WIPO scholarships, around 3 of them. And then in 2023, I had the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship and studied in the UK. And then I just had the IOE International Student House Centenary Doctoral Scholarship to study at UCL in London. So I'm drawing from this number of scholarship opportunities that I've explored. It will sound a bit fanciful, but I've not mentioned the ones that I did not succeed in, okay? It is not a straight line. There are many that I was not accepted in. But let us focus on the good part, okay? Let's draw from what worked. Let's not focus on what did not work. So, please, the next slide. If you are here now, it means that you have a dream which you want to explore. But before we get there, everybody or anybody, if for instance, Sir Akaba James, who was just indicated, his picture was raised. Unfortunately, I've not met him in person yet, but I look forward to that opportunity. If he comes here and he announces that he has been notified about 4 scholarship opportunities, maybe 2 in Harvard and 2 in Oxford, or any university which you want to study, who want to get it? By show of hand, who wants to get a scholarship? If your hand is not up, probably you are in the wrong room, because I believe everybody here is for scholarships, right? Now, the truth is that scholarships when they say fully funded, it means everything is paid. Okay, your flight, your tuition, you're given a very hefty amount of monthly stipend. Even your accommodation is paid. When you go to very cold places, they even provide money for warm clothing allowance. Okay, they know you're coming from the tropics, which is a bit hotter. So when you get there, they give you money to buy warm clothes. They want you to be as comfortable as much as possible. So the dream is that you want to study in a world-class university and you want to have a good international experience, which many people still dream of, and you want a bright future for yourself, because becoming an international student gives you a wider scope of understanding and a wide range of networking opportunities. So that is the dream, studying at Harvard, Oxford, or even your dream university. While that is the dream, next please, while that is the dream, there is a harsh reality, right? Everybody has that dream, but everybody cannot have it. And the harsh reality is that, I give you a bit of statistics. In 2024, the Chevening Scholarship, which is very popular, they had 102,000 applications around the world for people who want scholarships. but just 700 were offered. That gives us an acceptance rate of about 0.69% of accepting. That is the chance you stand. So I try to capture, that is the person trying to go through, or the people trying to go through the thousands and hundreds of thousands of scholarship applications that they receive each year. That's just for Chevening. We are not talking about MasterCard. We are not talking about Commonwealth Shared, Commonwealth PhD, and all of those. And if you look at that statistics, meaning that if we are 100, I need to put that in context. If we are 100 in this room, less than one person will be selected. Okay? That's what it means. I mean, I don't know how we will divide to have less than one person, but that is the percentage. And that was 2024. And the number of applications are skyrocketing. The number of applications are increasing. In 2023, it was about 72,000. So it left from 72,000 and 30,000 increased by 1 year. We don't know the percentage in 2025. That's the harsh reality. And that is true across the board, across all the scholarships. Yet, it is possible. It is possible. At least I'm a living witness. Our next presenter is a living witness. You've seen several other persons who will testify that it is possible. Okay? So the question is, what makes you different from the 99% that will not be selected? What makes you different from the 99 people out of 100 who will not be selected? Put it in another way. What makes you so special that you will be in the 1% that will be selected? The key to that is being able to tell your story, because the only thing, or one of the main things which the scholarship panel will know about you is through your essays. They will ask you technical questions and you need to address them with key information. That's where you capture them. Your results, good results, gives you an advantage. But that is not all. Can you defend those results by writing a consistent, coherent, and captivating story? That is very important. Next, please. So, I just tried to indicate again for you to get the context. That is the 1%. It's not reflecting on the screen, sorry. But that is the 1%. If we have this number of applications, these are the number of people that will be selected, and these are the number of people that will be rejected. And those are the number of applications. Look at the person trying to look at the mountains of applications that they receive. And they are done by humans. So they try to put in place strategies to make sure that they eliminate as many people as possible. Sorry to say that. All right, next slide, please. So while in doing my master's, after completing the and submitting and doing the oral presentation of my dissertation, we had this meal in the student cafeteria in London. And this meal was very important because we had a very important conversation. Not long, very short, very brief, but very crucial. So I'll just talk about the male, Paul, who is seated right in front. He was talking to us about having scholarships, because he's also a scholarship awardee. He's a doctor. He was one of our lecturers. And he introduced some very key points that I took down, and when I made investigations, I saw that it was very important. Our conversation today will be around the 3 questions which Paul, he's a doctor, unfortunately, there in the UK, you don't call somebody Dr. Paul or Professor this, you call them Paul, rather, as opposed to Cameroon, where everybody, if you don't add professor in front of their names, it's a problem. If somebody has a PhD and you don't say doctor, this is a problem. But there we call them by their middle name. So he gave me 3 questions which I jotted on a piece of paper, and I want to focus on those 3 questions and see how it captures telling your story in a captivating way that will increase your chances of getting scholarship. Okay, next please. So the 3 questions which Paul asked are: 1, why is what you want to study, why is it important? Why is it significant? Why do you want to study it? That's the first question. Why is it important? There are many important things in the world. Why should what you want to study have any relevance or any significance? Okay? The next question is, why are you the most suitable candidate for that study? Why are you the most qualified person? Okay? That is very important. So in your essays, you should endeavor to answer these questions. And the third question is that why did you choose this university? Why did you choose this program? Why is it the right program to study what you want to study? These are questions that must be answered convincingly. So the question here is, do your essays answer all these 3? If you miss out answering one of them, it greatly impacts your chances of being selected for scholarship. Okay? Every selection panel seeks to, they are in the back of their mind, they are looking for answers to these questions. Irrespective of the scholarship, this cuts across undergraduate, master's, and PhD. More relevant for the research or postgraduate studies. Okay? So you should ask yourself, every time you're writing an essay for a scholarship, you should be able to list these 3. These are the 3 most important questions that you can ever answer if you have to write a scholarship essay. Okay? Next, please. So we will look at these 3 questions and we will break them down and see what it takes. Just those questions, you can answer them and you will lose focus along the way. But each of those 3 questions, I attempted to break down the sub-questions which you should answer, that by the end of the day, by the end of the time you're answering all the sub-questions, you should have already answered the main question. Okay? So, why is your study significant? The question is, so what? Why is it important? Why should we even care? So, in this part of the question, you should show how your studies will link to solving real-life problems. You need to identify a problem in your community, in your life, in the lives of others, and tell us why you want to solve them, and show that that is an important plaguing problem. Okay? And then you will have to link that to development needs. Of course, most scholarships are focused on enhancing human capital for development. Okay? They want you to become better so that you can impact your community. That's why for most scholarships, when you have them, they say when you're done, you have to return to your country and implement what you've studied or utilize the skills that you've obtained in your studies. And in answering the so what question, you should be able to demonstrate that you have the potential, right, to develop your community, to have impact in your community. You need to show that in your essay. You don't need to tell, you need to show. There is a difference between telling in an essay and showing in an essay. Okay? And then you have to relate it to your national programs and to global programs. For instance, the Sustainable Development Goals. That is a key aspect where almost every field of study that plans to enhance human capital revolves around the Sustainable Development Goals. This is very important. So you have to convince the panel that your your studies matter beyond yourself. They go beyond. It's not just about you. I don't just want to come and study and have a master's. You need to show that when you study, if they give you the opportunity to study this, you will impact others. You will improve the lives of others. You will improve the life of your community, meaning that you need to demonstrate community impact. Okay? And what problem bigger than yourself are you solving, or do you plan to solve? You will need to demonstrate that I've seen this problem. I want to solve this problem, but I need to develop through this program, this course in your university, to be able to solve this problem. And what challenge in your country motivates you? Is it the crisis in the Anglophone regions? Is it plastic waste? Is it female genital mutilation? Is it gender-based violence? There are a plethora of problems in our communities that, if well communicated through your essays, you stand a chance of being offered a scholarship. Okay? So make sure you are addressing these questions and putting it in context, real life problems. Use statistics to say the number of domestic violent cases have skyrocketed. By this, you need to obtain the skills to be able to communicate professionally and advocate for to stop domestic violence, for instance. Plastic waste is detrimental to the society. Smoking in public places is detrimental. These are problems that you need to capture in your essay of so what. Okay? Okay, while this is coming on, the sub-questions that go into to answering the so what question. We have a few questions which, after knowing what it entails to answer that question, there are other specific questions which you need to answer beyond that. And the first one is, what problem, as we've seen in your country, do you want to address? How will your studies help solve this problem? Okay? And how does it align with national and global development issues? Which sustainable development goals are connected to your field? So I'm sure we know about the sustainable development goals. If you don't know about them, please make sure you read them. It will be a very good guide on you to identify the problems in your community. It's the UN Agenda for 2030, which plans to improve human lives significantly in all areas: education, poverty, climate, forestry, and every other aspect of human life which you can imagine. So the Sustainable Development Goals will help you identify your problems more clearly. And how will you measure impact? This is more technical because you need to show that when you do this, this is what I expect to find. And you should be able to quantify what you find at the end of your impact activity. Okay? So, for impact, you see, you have to describe expected changes. If I study and I come back, I will be able to speak more confidently to people affected by domestic violence, for instance. I will have the knowledge and skills to help support plastic recycling to improve the community. I will have the knowledge to advocate for people who've suffered abuse. Those are the things which you need to say you will do. We will get to another point where we will say that needs to be captured retrospectively, meaning that you have to look at it backwards to an extent. but we'll get there. So you will show how you will measure impact and then outline your research. Okay, this is for graduate students, people who already have undergraduate degrees or already have masters and are going for PhD. You will need to demonstrate that you've already done some study in that, for instance, when you were doing your dissertation, your thesis, okay, or your long project report, as it is called at undergraduate level. So at the end of the day, you ask yourself, does your essay or do your essays answer the so what question clearly? This is very important. If at any point in time you doubt if you have captured this question, please go back, research, rewrite, edit, refine until you are confident that you've captured this. Now, question 2 is why you? Why should we even look at you to give you this scholarship? Why should we pay attention? Why are you the best fit? Why not the person sitting next to you? Why not the 101,000 people that will not be selected? Okay? Why you? This is where telling your story, bringing together your achievements, your background, all the challenges and struggles which you've had and overcome, this is where it comes in. Your unique selling point. Because two persons don't have the same story. You might come even from the same house, but your stories and experiences are quite different. How do you tell that? And you're linking that with the program which you want to study. This is very important. So, showcase your academic achievements, demonstrate leadership and volunteering experience. This is very important. Mr. Golefag already mentioned community engagement, doing cleanup. If some of you use LinkedIn, there is a popular meme which says that somebody learned how to change a bulb, but that person was able to explain it in 5 paragraphs just to change a light bulb. You try to capture it in a way that will be fascinating, which will be captivating to the person reading. I'm not saying use 5 paragraphs to explain how to change a bulb, but you should learn how to explain it so that somebody understands and can use that knowledge to judge you as a qualified individual. Show you have networks and how you've used them. This is a network. The people you meet here, the people you communicate with, your friends. I think Mr. Golefak is the central piece of the network here present. He can link you to whoever you need. He has linked up several people, and he continues to do that. Networking, because it is part of your scholarship package. They expect you to create relationships with people who will help you. You cannot solve all the problems alone. You need to harmonize or bring together resources, personal resources, knowledge capital. You cannot just exist as an island. You need to work with other people. You need to demonstrate that so far you have been able to network with some people, and you look forward to the opportunity to network with even more people. That is your unique selling point. Those are your personal attributes. Highlight your personal story and the challenges you've overcome. This is very important, okay? Only you can tell your story. But how you tell that story matters. All right? And the key point here is that proof that you are worth the investment. Demonstrate that they should trust you to give you that money. They should trust you to invest in you because you will have a return on investment. And why should they choose you over others? Okay, next please. So the sub-questions which you should endeavor to answer beyond this is, how have your past studies and experiences prepared you for a scholarship? How what personal story shows that you're resilient despite the crisis in the Anglophone regions, for instance. Some people still had 25 points. Even with truncated education during the year, people go for 1-2 months without going to school. Some of them still go for, still obtain the highest number of points possible. That is resilience in the face of difficulty. That is just one. I've just given one example. You have your challenges as an individual. How have you been able to survive up to now? Because that proves that when you find yourself in a completely new setting or a completely new community, you will thrive. You will be able to survive because you've demonstrated in the past that you can survive difficulties and struggles. What are your personal motivation and struggles? How have you shown leadership and volunteering? This is very important. Volunteering. This is one of the greatest selling points. Okay? Volunteering demonstrates that you can do something for somebody for free. They will pay people to do things for free. If you can do something for somebody for free, it means that you are a worthwhile investment. It means that they can trust you to put resources into you. Volunteering. The slightest opportunity you have to volunteer, please do. If they are asking to go out on a campaign or do clean up around your community or clean a water catchment area, whatever you're doing, in as much as it uplifts your spirit, it adds to your qualities. It makes you a trustworthy person. This is very, very important. It is a very good selling ticket, especially for the donors of scholarships. They want to see that you can go out of your personal interest and do something for somebody, for your community. They need to see that. Your scholarship essay must have personal suitability. The more it captures your achievement, doing voluntary community work is a significant achievement because many people don't do it. And it's a contribution to the growth of your community, to your own growth as an individual and to your community. And that is what development impact work is. It's developing your community. It's not just about you. Next, please. So, you should be able to explain that this scholarship or this program that I want to study, after studying, this is how it will help me. I will engage with the government, for instance, to have better conversations about problems plaguing my community. That already tells you what you will do after your scholarship or after your program. I will have a greater network to reach out to people and gain support to push more community work. I'll have more people in my network who share common ideas and we can engage in activities that better our community. I keep emphasizing community because you need to demonstrate that you can do something for other people, not just yourself. But your career should be service leadership. You should be empowered to serve others, but with the competency to lead while serving. What skills will you gain? Okay, my program is offering, I want to study education. Many students in my country are still out of school because of lack of means or community teachers and things like that. My program will teach me, when you have already done enough research about your program, will give me the skills and knowledge to be able to provide community education to vulnerable persons or persons who don't have the privilege or underserved communities. Okay? How will your studies help your future career? Because they don't just want you to study and end there. How will you become a better person? How will it improve your standard of living? How will you make you a more useful member of your community? So, if you capture this in the why you are on a good footing. All right? And you should be able to also envision what will be happening in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Post-study, when you're finished your study, what do you plan, what do you think will be happening in the next 4, 5, 6 years? That's your career plan. That's your future. Okay? So, they need to know, they need to see you as someone who has plans for the future, not somebody whose plans end after completing the scholarship. So capture that. Tell them what you want to do in the coming years. Okay? And of course, that is captured in your CV. Next, please. So you can tell the most fascinating stories, but if you don't have evidence to back up those stories, it will not make much sense. Everybody can tell very good stories, but filled with half-truths or lies. You need evidence. You need to prove. And the scholarship panel, they know how to decipher if somebody is telling the truth, because when your story is not as truthful, there will be identifiable inconsistencies. So you need to provide numbers, you need to provide statistics that clearly show that this is the reality, which can be verified. You cannot sit and say the number of out-of-school children in Bafoussam are 3 million when the total population of Bafoussam is 2 million. So you need to show evidence, and they will verify when necessary. Use your own impact stories and talk about your achievements. Most of your achievements will be possibly awards, recognitions from your school, from your community. Bring that in. Okay? And remember that your past actions determine your future impact. What you have done before, if you've shown that you were engaged in community cleanup campaigns, in advocacy campaigns, in mobilizing young people to stay away from drugs or from internet fraud and cyber security issues, that proves that in future you have already been on the path, and in future you will be in a better position to establish within that area. So the third question is, why this university program, or why this university? Why did you choose us to come and study? Because you are applying to a university. Why this university and not another one? So this is where you have to do rigorous research and know as much as possible about the university as you can. There's no gambling. No two universities are the same. Each university has its strengths, has its uniqueness. So you have to know about a particular professor in that school. You need to know about the course. You need to know the marketability of that course, the reputation of that course. All of that you must know. You are not going in blind. You are going in informed. And all of that, interestingly, is at the tips of your fingers, your phone. During our time, it was very difficult to access the internet. But now with 100 francs, you can stay. If you are not on TikTok, you can stay online for up to 3 hours or more. So all of that, you just need to know what to look for. All these universities have all of this information online. And if you don't know about it, it is your fault. It is not theirs. But they need to find out if you're motivated enough to look, to find that information. They already know about it, but they're asking you, do you know about it? That is where you answer the why this university and why this course. So you will have to explain why this course is a perfect match, okay? You cannot want to solve gender problems and then you are applying to maybe study metaphysics or mechanical engineering. Well, they can be linked somehow, but you need to link your aspirations to the cause. Not say that this is the cause that offers what I need. This is the cause that will give me the skills that I need. And you show how those skills will be obtained from the modules that are offered, because all these courses online, they have the different modules under. If you want to do project management, for instance, you might have courses now under time management, finance management, and all those. And then you demonstrate your knowledge, this knowledge of professors and facilities and curriculum. For professors particularly, I don't know if we have any master students who are aspiring to do a PhD. The professors are the first line of barrier if you have to go in for a PhD program. They are the ones doing the selection. So you need to know the professor like a friend, but he does not know you. You know him as a friend, meaning that you have read his research, you know what his focus is, what his interests are, so that you can talk, have a conversation with him. Or even for masters, you need to mention that I want to work with this professor who is a leader in this area of research. That strengthens your application. So the fit, this is where the fit, where do you need to show that you're the right fit, you're the right person for that program. When you answer all these questions, you will see that your story becomes completely different from the person seated beside you. But then the important thing is, were you convincing enough? Now, let me slow down a bit and talk to mostly some people just had their ordinary levels. Some people just had their advanced level. Please, this might sound far-fetched, but I believe that you being here means you have plans to get here to these programs. So please, have this at the back of your mind, that this is what it takes, and start preparing now. For some people, they might not have to go back to do 2 or 3 years of community service again to qualify for some scholarships, like chevening. But you are still in the early stages of your career, or in the early stages of your aspirations. So you still have time to do a lot, which you can capture. Just being a school prefect is a significant demonstration of leadership skills. Just even being the timekeeper in your college is significant. So while you're still young enough to do these things, please do them. And then capture them in writing. And that will be your unique selling point. Okay. Next, please. Okay. The sub-questions which you need to address to answer the why this program, why this university, you need to tell us why you chose the program. It links to the problem that you want to solve. The next slide, please. I think it should be the previous. Go one step back, let's see. Okay, yes. Demonstrate your leadership and volunteering experience and show you have networks and how you've used them before. Highlight your personal story and the challenges you've overcome so far. So why should they choose you? No, go ahead, please. Go ahead again. Go ahead. Ahead. Okay, we talked about evidence already. Forward. Next. Okay. So going beyond, you are looking at again for master students, you have to mention your dissertation or your thesis, because it's a significant part of your identity when you do research in a particular area. It demonstrates that you have interest in that area. Show how you will expand your networks. Of course, when you have one of these scholarships, there is what we say you become an alumni, and you become part of a network of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of other students who've had the scholarship. And you can reach out if you have a problem, if you have a challenge, and they will be able to help you as a community. So you should show that you have that networking potential, all right? And the universities want people who will come, and remember that the university also wants successful students. No university wants to get students who will not succeed. So they are going through all of this selection process to make sure that they are getting the best quality students, because they want you to come and succeed. Because the more you succeed, the more you sell the image of the university. A school like Oxford or Harvard was not built in a day. It's over hundreds of years of students becoming successful from these universities. And they do a lot of rigorous selection, rounds of interviews. Especially when you get to PhD level, the number of interviews become very intense. So let us, those are the questions which you will have to tackle. This is very important. You're no longer going in blind if you want to apply for a scholarship. Now you're going in with a focus now. Those questions will help you draft and redraft and rewrite and edit and refine your essays so that you become a winning candidate. So let us look at the value of scholarships, okay? When I was preparing this slide, I wanted to demonstrate the cost that needs to be invested in you. And you should ask yourself if you're worth that cost, okay? If you have a scholarship, let's just pick 1 year.